What up guys, Joachim here, and this video is going to compare a little bit about Duolingo versus Assimil. Assimil is a language learning program that uses bidirectional language techniques, so you will use your native language and the target language and compare texts. So I think it begins with simple text and then moves on to more complicated, more difficult text as it goes on, and then Duolingo really does the exact same thing. So there are some differences, but they're overwhelmingly, now at least as of the last couple years, they're very similar. One thing that I like about Duolingo is that there is a built-in spaced repetition system, and what will happen is that on the desktop version, so I'm recording this on my phone, so I'm using the app right now. The desktop version does have features across all of the languages that are not available on the app. So at least to some degree, to get all of the benefits, you do have to go use the desktop feature. And what will happen though is you can do down here in the lower left-hand corner, it's not there on my phone because this isn't the desktop app, but if it was the desktop app, in the lower left-hand corner, you would see like a little, it almost looks like a barbell, and it's meant to kind of continue learning, continue doing exercises to strengthen skills, and it will integrate the spaced repetition to some degree into that. And then as you get things gold, so right now you can see like I clicked on phrases and it is gold. So I've gone through all of the levels on it, whereas you get to food and it's only at 3 crowns. So I haven't gone through all the levels on that. And then what will happen is that these gold ones will break. They will look shattered, and that will mean that it's time for you to review those to integrate the spaced repetition. And actually, on the desktop version, there's a part where you can click at the top that says, I don't know if it says other, it's a couple 3 dots, and then you click on it and it brings down a dictionary and some other things, and it'll say words. And if you go to that words section, it'll show you which words, like how far you are out from having to strengthen them to use the spaced repetition system, just the same way that like Anki or Memorize does, except that it's using the vocabulary that you've learned from Duolingo. So this is something that obviously Assimil does not provide. So on Assimil, you would have to continue reading every day. And I mostly learned Assimil from, I wanted to use it for Greek, actually. I know Luca Lamperiello he recommends it. He is a polyglot that speaks quite a number of languages to a pretty high level, and he uses Assimil usually for, say, the first 6 months or 6 to 9 months to learn a language. And he recommends it, but Assimil does not exist for Greek speakers, or at least for English speakers who want to learn Greek. So they don't have a program for that. So he actually used the Assimil system for Greek, but his native language is Italian, so he learned Greek from Italian, and that's great if you speak Italian. I think it's a French company, so all of their languages are always available in French, but if you don't speak French, then it's subject to whether they'll have materials available for you. So obviously the price can be one thing. Duolingo is free on the desktop. The app is also free, but it'll use a heart system. So right now I have it set to unlimited hearts because I took advantage. They offered a one week subscription to the Plus account, meaning that you could do that. So you can see like I have the Plus account turned on so that I get unlimited hearts and I don't have to worry about running out. But the desktop feature doesn't use that kind of thing, so you can do unlimited practice on desktop anyway. So if you're going to use it on desktop, then that's probably something to consider. But then the price for Assimil can be somewhat of a range, because Assimil doesn't have, like on Duolingo, you're going to type in answers to see if you get them correct. On Assimil, it is all reading and listening to the recordings that they send you, which the recordings are native speakers that are speaking. So that is a benefit. Some languages on Duolingo have native speakers that are actually recordings of them saying the sentences that you'll see, but most of them are text to speech. So it's like a computerized voice that is giving you the answer. I don't know why I keep stuttering. I keep saying is. Anyway, so I'm going to open up one of the Duolingo lessons to kind of show you what...
Ο άντρας φοράει ένα καπέλο.
So that is an example of the computerized voice that you would hear through a Duolingo program.
Ο άντρας φοράει ένα καπέλο.
I don't have anything pulled up right now. I used the Assimil Hebrew when I learned Hebrew, but I don't have any of the recordings anymore. I think there's some that I think are free you can listen to on, if you go to, I can't even remember the name of it now. It's one of the like flashcard systems, not Anki, but shoot, I don't know. I think I have it under I have some school apps that I use, and it's not there. I guess I don't think I have the app that I'm thinking of. Anyway, so I'm going to move on because I'm drawing a blank on the app that I was trying to look for. But some of these flashcard systems that you pull up, they will have like the Anki sentences, the Anki sentences that you would do, and it's very similar to the way that you would do Duolingo. So that's kind of something to consider, something that is good. But when you look at these, so I'm going to go to the French one. That's the paperback book. I think this, for $45, you get the audio CDs that accompany it and the book. So that's a pretty good deal. Because some of the Anki materials can get significantly more expensive. You can see the Spanish one's a little bit more expensive than that, English and Spanish edition. And does this one come with the audio CDs? I'm not sure that it does. It says Super Pack, so one book plus 4 audio CDs. So it's a little bit more expensive, but you do get the same materials that you were getting with the French. So the French is only $45. The Spanish is $61. Brazilian Portuguese. Do you get the book as well? Because this one says CDs. Assimil Super Pack. Brazilian Portuguese book, 4 CDs. So excellent. So it's a little bit more expensive than both the Spanish and the French. No, actually, it's close to the same price. A little less expensive, actually, than the Spanish. German is $92. What do they got against German? Why is it so expensive? So it's quite a bit more expensive than their other products. I don't know why. I couldn't answer that. Maybe if you go to their website, because sometimes on Amazon things will be sold by different suppliers. This says, actually, I don't remember how to look up the supplier right now. But maybe that's one thing. This one says the Spanish Super Pack for $125. I don't know why you would buy this one for $125 when this one up here, Spanish, is only $61. I don't know what the difference between those two are, but anyway, you can see they have a variety of different languages. They have quite a high number, and but you pay quite a bit more for that, possibly. So the advantages that I see to using Duolingo over Assimil, and it is that maybe that native speaker content can be a benefit. I don't personally actually think that it is, because I listen to a lot of materials in the languages that I learn that are in, say, Greek or something, or whatever language, and I'm watching television, I'm watching native materials that have that. So or maybe I'm not watching native materials, but maybe I'll watch something that's dubbed in the language if I can't access native materials. Obviously, you would rather access native things and listen to the language and get cultural aspects of the languages that you learn, but that's not always available. So if you're doing that, I really don't see where it really matters if everything that you listen to, like if you have a text-to-speech computerized voice, it really doesn't matter if you're getting lots of exposure to the language. And if you're not getting any exposure except this app that you used, well, I mean, you're going to be limited in how much you learn regardless of whether it's a native speak or a text-to-speech. So I guess in that sense, I don't really think it matters, because it's not really a replacement for listening to the language at certain times. And I don't recommend that you have to do tons of immersion into the language every day. I think some immersion can be beneficial. Immersion being where you just listen to the language ongoing, immersing yourself into what's going on, trying to figure out things based on, TV can be beneficial because you see people doing things while they're speaking, and so presumably whatever they're saying somehow pertains to what is happening visually in the television show as well at that point. So in that sense, immersion with television can be a benefit. But yeah, so if you're comparing Assimil's native speakers to the Duolingo text-to-speech option, then I don't personally think that that's a very significant factor. The advantages of Duolingo would be that it provides the spaced repetition system, but you have to actually use that. So if you just go down the list and you're just going through each circle, then you will to some degree get some spaced repetition, you're going to get review of the words you've previously learned, because they'll pop up in the sentences that come up, but it's really not a spaced repetition system. Then it's just incidentally that it's coming up later. So you do have to have some of your own responsibility to go and seek that out in order to use that. So in that case, that is you making a decision to review and do those things. And I guess that would kind of be true of Assimil as well, but with Duolingo, it's built in and it tells you that it's time, whereas with Assimil, you would have to actually make that decision yourself, that you're going to go back and review a bunch of materials ongoing. So in that sense, I think that there are definite advantages to having a book in your hand versus using an app. We've become accustomed in the 21st century to using a lot of apps for things, to using apps on our phones to learn things. And I think there is a visual aspect to having a book that allows information to get integrated into your mind better than at times using an app. So there's a convenience factor in using an app, so that's why I use it and why a lot of other people will tend to use apps pretty frequently. But there is a learning aspect to using a book. So I guess that would be a case where Assimil is probably better in some cases, because there is an actual hard copy book in your hands and you are reading through it. So I think that you can learn quicker that way in some instances. But I mean, I'm not saying that the app, you don't learn things from the app. It's just that I think that is an advantage of something like Assimil over an app in general. So I think I've covered most of the aspects that I see that stand out. The one thing that Duolingo has that Assimil really just can't replicate is that you do come to a point where you have to output the language. Like when you do a lesson, you end up having to type in the answer. Let's see if I can find one. I'm going to go to one of the ones that I've previously done and see if I can get something to come up that will ask me to type in the answer. So by typing in the answer, okay, so I can't hear it when I'm recording. So you guys heard that, but I didn't actually hear what it said. But tadika mas pedia. So it's like our own children. I don't. That's not actually good English. I wish they wouldn't do that, but I know why they do. It's trying to express that there's ownership, but our own children.
Ο δικός τους καφές.
I think it said odiko.
Δικό. Ο δικός τους καφές. Ο δικός τους καφές. Δικό. Καφές.
Ο δικός τους καφές. I can hear it a little bit when I have the recorder on. It's very low.
Τα παιδιά είναι δικά μου.
The children are mine. Or ours. Oops. Oh, the children are mine. Oh, mu. Okay.
Είναι δικές σας. Σα. Η εφημερίδα είναι δική μου.
The newspaper is mine.
Είναι δικός μου και δικό σου. Είναι δικός μου και δικό σου.
Actually, I don't know. I'm not going to keep going through this a lesson, but point being, you will eventually, if I kept going through this, you would come to a point where you had to type out the answer, and by outputting the information in that way, then that is an advantage where you are having to output the language in Duolingo, where you wouldn't get that in Assimil. So I'm going to cut off the video there today, guys. I hope you are well. If you have any comments or you've used a mixture of both Assimil and Duolingo, then please comment in the comment section below and let me know what you thought. I guess I kind of make this video, and it reminds me of the people who just take a crap all over Duolingo, that it's terrible and it's useless, and then they're like, yeah, Assimil is like the greatest thing ever. It's like this avant-garde, like, yeah, it's really like luxurious, like we're really doing something with this. It's like kind of the elite, it's exotic. That's kind of a ridiculous thought process, but people are weird. So you guys take it easy, and I'll talk to you in a video coming very soon.